All right, man, let's be honest, right? We're a fundamentally poor football group right now. We're playing losing football. And I take responsibility for that. By losing football, I mean we're just not doing fundamental things well enough. We're not. We're turning the ball over. We're highly penalized. We don't play good in situations. And so I'm just acknowledging that. I don't necessarily have the answers as we sit here today. If I had the answers, we'd have played differently today.
Come on, Mike. Tell us something we don't already know. The real question is, why are the Steelers still playing bad fundamental football in Week 15 of the season? Maybe Ben Roethlisberger was right. Hey, welcome to another episode of Coach Walker TV. Let's jump right into it. Yo, I think Ben may have had a point on his podcast talking about the Steelers and the tradition. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, we just got to talk about what the Steelers just another implosion against the Colts. Still had a chance to make the playoffs. Now I think all is done. We know Kenny Pickett's been out. He's going to be out probably for a little bit longer. But Mitch Trubisky came in and did absolutely nothing tonight. It was horrific. But the Steelers follow suit like they've been doing the last few games. 13 points. I keep telling y'all that is not going to win. That is not going to win football games in the NFL. The last 3 games that the Steelers have lost, they're 0-3, obviously. They lost to two-win teams, lost to the 7-6 Colts tonight. They have only averaged 13.5 points a game. Mitch Trubisky came in tonight and was horrific. If you had a chance to watch the game, he was throwing passes all over the place. I mean, his stats were bad. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at his stats. So Mr. Trubisky went 16 of 23, 169 yards. All right, 1 touchdown. But the worst thing of all, 2 interceptions, and they were bad interceptions. The man's throwing off his back foot. He's throwing like he's scared. I mean, it just looked bad. Let's not talk about the offensive line's run blocking. The offensive line's run blocking is horrific. It makes the running backs look bad. I mean, tonight you had Jaylen Warren 10 for 40, average on 4 yards a carry, and then you had Najee Harris 12 for 33, averaging 2.8. I mean, they can't run behind that future offensive line. They're not even getting a push. They went for it on the goal line and barely got in for the touchdown. Mitch Trubisky had to reach over to get that. The offensive line is not getting a good push up front. Therefore, the run game is almost non-existent, even though Najee and Jaylen can break out a few good runs here and there. Let's not talk about throwing the football. No receiver for the second straight week in a row went over 100 yards receiving. Yo, this offense is bad. And it's bad. It wasn't the offensive coordinator. It's the system that they're in. And I think they are still playing with the old offense a little bit. But, I mean, it's bad. And then one last thing, team stat-wise. This is terrible. 216 total yards of offense. But the worst stat of all, 8 penalties for 108 yards. The Steelers are washed. This season, we might as well ball it up, throw it in the trash. And that's going to lead me to my next point of what Ben Roethlisberger said on his podcast. Shout out to Ben, footballing with Ben Roethlisberger. That I think he was right, and we're about to talk about that right now. So here's why I believe Ben Roethlisberger had a good point. Now, he said that he believes that the culture and the tradition of the Steelers was pretty much done. Now, I wouldn't quite say it that way. What I would say is that I think it is the pride. I think the pride is not there. The tradition of the Steelers will always be around just because of the organization and who they are and what they represent. However, a little bit of the culture and definitely the pride of the Steelers is not there anymore. The defense still plays hard from time to time, but I think if you think about it, right, you have a Cam Hayward on the defensive side of the football. He was around a little bit in the end days of Ben Roethlisberger when they were playing some winning football. He has a little bit of that pride. Joey Porter Jr. plays with a little bit of that pride because of I'm sure his dad lets him know what it means to be a Steeler. But everybody else, especially on the offensive side of the ball, there's no pride, man. They're not proud to put on the black and gold and be a Steeler and go out there and just compete and give the effort. George Pickens is still on the sideline with his head down. I mean, the body language of the sideline doesn't look good. And yes, I blamed it on Tomlin, man. He had to keep that up. You're supposed to keep that up as a coach, but he's been around for a while. It might be wearing off. Like I said, he's been around 17 seasons. They just might not respond. This generation of players just might not respond the same, and the pride is not there. And last thing about this whole situation, right? Ben was a part of the problem because Ben stayed a little too long. He stayed like 2 years. In my opinion, he stayed 2 years too long, and he could have been there helping instill some of that pride. But I think he was a bit selfish at the end of his career, right? And Ben, if you're out there, you hear me, you catch me. Hey man, I love to come on your podcast and talk about him. But look, I think he stayed. I think Ben stayed 2 years too long and was a bit selfish there, and that helped with the pride of the Steelers. It got a little bit more on the selfish side with Ben. So maybe what he's seeing is a little bit of residue that he left, right? But I don't disagree totally. I just think that it was about the pride of being a Steeler is not there anymore. But hey, y'all, let me know what y'all think. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's have a conversation about what y'all think about these Steelers. Man, we know the season is over. Was Ben right in your eyes, or was he wrong? Hey, I'll catch y'all on the next video. Peace.